If you are wondering whether classics are for you, or you feel a bit intimidated by them, then this video is for you. Hi friends, my name is Bart, welcome to the channel, and this week we'll be talking all about classics. Classical literature. Now I know there are a lot of people who want to read more classical literature, but somehow they feel intimidated by it. They think you have to be an intellectual to read those books, or they are simply going to be too difficult for them, the language is not accessible, and a lot of preconceptions like that. So that's why I'm making this guide, a beginner's guide to help you make the right choices so you too can enjoy classical literature. So in this guide I'm going to give you some tips on where to start, how to read and how to enjoy those age-old books. And be sure to watch all the way up till the end, because I have created a resource for you that will make your journey into classical literature a whole lot easier. That's enough as an introduction, let's get into it. As a first tip, first of all, don't be intimidated. These classical books were contemporary in their day. Maybe the books you're reading today are the classics of tomorrow. So don't feel intimidated, these are just normal books that have a certain age. And don't let anyone fool you that these books are too difficult for you, because they aren't. These are just books that you too can enjoy. If you still feel a little intimidated, that's okay. Let's start slow. Let's start with classical children's literature. Now, you don't need to be a child to enjoy classical children's literature. In fact, a lot of adults read YA today as well. Some of these children's books are ageless classics with a lot of hidden meanings, so you too as an adult can enjoy them. I'm thinking of The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, or Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, or perhaps Anne of Green Gables by Montgomery. There are a lot of classical children's books that are worth your time, so why not start there? And from there you can ease into short stories. Not all classics have to be big slogs. There are many more approachable classics that you can read in 1 or 2 settings. I'm thinking The Picture of Dorian Gray, or The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway. Short stories that make for quick, classical reads. Another way to approach this is to read books that you are already familiar with. Let me explain. You might not have read books like Robin Hood, or Christmas Carol, or even Robinson Crusoe, but I bet you know what those stories are about. Some books and some stories have ingrained themselves in our culture, and we all know them. So why not start there? Because familiarity helps you with reading those books. As a fourth tip, let's talk about language. Now, language in classics can be intimidating. After all, we don't speak anymore like we used to do in the 1800s. But no one says you have to read those classics in the original text. Now, there are a lot of good modern adaptations and translations of those ancient texts. So why not start there with accessible language, so you can enjoy the story to its fullest? And then again, not all classics have that inaccessible language. If you take Nabokov's Lolita, for example, I would argue that its language is more accessible than, for example, Donna Tartt's The Secret History. Find out which copy to buy that is suited for your needs, and don't let that language hold you back. For tip number 5, I want you to remember, classical literature is not a genre. It is just a collection of books that we deem worthy of the title classical literature. And even that is debatable. It can help to divide classical literature into modern-day genres and read what you already enjoy reading today. Maybe you're a fantasy fan. Then by all means go for those classics that are considered to be fantasy. Same goes for romance or detective and mystery. Read the books that you love to read. And if you don't know how to start, then stay tuned, because at the end of this video I am going to reveal a resource for you which will help you immensely with choosing which books are suited for you. Tip number 6, try audiobooks. Find a narrator that you love and engage with those classics through listening. It's one thing to read Homer's Odyssey, but it's a whole different experience to hear someone like Stephen Fry narrate the book that he loves himself. A lot of people find it easier to listen to those classics than to actually read them. And that's fine. So why not give it a go? Find a classic you've always wanted to read and listen to it instead. For our next tip, and I lost count by now, is one that I've been a little hesitant about, because it can be a bit of a more advanced tip already, but I'm going to include it anyway. It is to do your research. To understand classics, it is good to understand the author, or perhaps the period they were written in. Read up on the book you're going to read or have just read, because it can help you understand what it's all about and why it is written in a certain way. A lot of classical editions can come with annotated versions, or perhaps with extra information, and it can be very interesting to read those. Or why not look it up on YouTube? Read some reviews, or perhaps even go all the way and watch a good biopic of the author. All of these things can help you understand and enjoy the book you're going to read. So if you're up to it, do your research. And last but not least, enjoy them. Do not overanalyze. We do that in schools enough already. Just approach a classic as you would approach any other book. Sit down, have a cup of your favorite drink, and try to enjoy the book. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations, you've earned this little present that I've got for you. I have compiled a list of over 50 classics and tried to categorize them into modern day fictional genres. This guide can help you pick classics depending on what genre you like today. There's fantasy, there's action and adventure, there's romance, sci-fi, you name it. It's in the list and it's free for you to download. No hidden fees, no, I want your email address for my email list, nothing of that. Just an easy, clean download. And you can find the link in the description box. Now, by all means, this guide isn't a complete one. There are still works and books missing. But don't you worry, I'm going to update it on a regular basis and keep adding books. So do come back to it from time to time because it will only keep expanding. If you find this guide useful, then you might like a guide like this as well. That's it for me for this week. Thank you for watching. Bye.